This is Luke Melton from the Angel Affair. Um, so we're talking about my EP Defy today, the first part of my Renaissance series.
Beautiful, Luke. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, mate.
Cool. Thank you, Kris.
No worries. As you say, the Angel Affair recently released your EP, Defy the Renaissance Part 1. So I know it hasn't been out for a heck of a long time, but how's the early reception been?
Pretty good, I think. It's the first thing we've really gone to town with the promotion and made lots of video clips and we made a video clip for every song on it. um, yeah, which was fun. I mean, I make all the videos, so I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so the reception's been pretty good from the people who've heard it. Yeah.
Very nice. So tell us a bit more about the EP from a musical point of view and what you were going for with it.
Okay, sure. So I'm from a heavy background. So, I started off in band playing drums and kind of developed my skill set from there. Yeah, so I really wanted to make something that represented a storyline that I'd thought of. That was like a dystopian future where people had augmented implants in their brains. That made like a kind of a cybernetic race.
Huh?
And then outside the walls of the city, there was the people who developed psychically. Instead of using technology to develop their minds, they'd use the psychic and spiritual essence. And it's about a clash between these two races.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I thought of that, I was just kind of looking at the way we use technology at the moment and how it's connecting us all. And it is kind of like a psychic network, like everyone's so readily available to everyone. We've always got our phones with us. It's like you can just talk to anyone, in the world at
For better or
whenever
for
you
worse.
want. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But and I was thinking about where this is headed. We're always using our phones, and I was thinking, well, next thing probably is microchips in your brain. Imagine if you could have a microchip in your brain and just use the internet like that and augmented reality and stuff like that. And then I was thinking about the flip side of that and how we're also developing very spiritually at the moment. There's been a big shift in consciousness. People have turned away from materialism. People are seeing that consciousness really creates reality and not the other way around. And so I was looking at these two things developing and how, they could be in conflict. So there could be a whole group of people with the chips and a whole group of people who just develop psychically. And I was looking at those two ideas clashing, and that's how I came up with my story and started making the music for it as well. Yeah.
I think one of the most important aspects of the EP is that it manages to paint a visual sonic landscape of the dystopian world that you've created, mate. So how difficult is that to achieve through music, to create a sonic landscape?
Yeah, right. So it was pretty difficult. I mean, I was experimenting with the way I normally go about it, with layer drums and guitars, but then really had to get into the kind of synth aspects, using synthesizers and using the machine itself to represent that part of it. So when I was recording it, I started to delve into that a bit more and mix the guitar tones with the synth aspect and try and get a balance like that, especially on the track This Machine. So it's got the synths and the guitars going at the same time, and trying to make a kind of an original sound there that represented that landscape. Yeah.
Oh, cool. So there's only 4 tracks on the EP, mate. So run us through each of them individually and their role in the story arc. So we'll start with the intro.
Okay, sure. So the intro is just like the realization that there's something wrong with this reality through the collective consciousness, and it's like a realization, an awakening to defy that, and that's the name of that title track, the Defy intro.
Yep.
And then it brings us up to connection, So it's the realization that we've got to break connection with that technology in order to free our psychic mind. Um, and then this machine is realizing that it's more complicated than that. How we've created this machine to try and express ourselves, and we're very attached to it. We can't just disconnect from it. We rely on it for so much, so embedded in the system. And so it's kind of coming to a revelation that we've created it. Now we've got to become the destroyer of it, and what that'll mean for us.
Uh-huh.
So that was one of my most emotional tracks on the album. And then Release is just the pure psychic fire of humanity confronting the machine. So just feeling the power of the spirit, and you get to fight for humanity itself through through our psychic powers and fair with the machine.
Yeah, very cool. And it's the first part of a planned 4-part strong series, mate. So where does it go from here?
Yeah, so it does have another 3 parts. It moves in and out of realities and in and out of time as well. So the second part is more pulled back. It's more the kind of the psychics and their world, which is a bit more how would you say, a bit more transcendental, a bit more spiritual. So not quite as heavy, but it's getting towards the more emotional side of it. The third part is straight into the war between the machines and the psychics. So it's a pretty heavy emotional one as well. And then the last part is what that'll mean for everyone after this has all taken place. So kind of the post-war reality of that, and it's also looking back at the way things were before it all happened as well. Yeah.
Cool. Are they all going to be like 4-track EPs?
Yes. So the next one coming out is 4. That's right. The one after that, yeah, they're all 4. They're all 4. I think the last one actually has a bit more. It's 5. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool. And have you done them all already, and you just sort of wait to release them now, or are you doing them as you go?
No, that's right. Yeah, I've finished them all now, and they're all ready to go. So we're just slowly rolling them out one after the other, and trying to develop some interest that way. Yeah.
Sweet. And if I read correctly, mate, you did all the instruments yourself on the EP too, mate. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It is a lot of work. I've been in a lot of bands and collaborative versions of the Angel Affair before, and I think for me, being able to do everything myself, it's just a different kind of work doing it by myself. So it gives me a lot more freedom in lots of ways to just work at my own pace and not have to manage everyone. So it was nice in that respect. But yeah, it is very time consuming, and you have to be really concentrate on your goal, concentrate on and your use of time as well. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And you also did the mixing and mastering yourself too, bro. So how hard is it to separate yourself from a piece of music that you've created and be objective with it in that other role?
Geez, that's such a good question. Yeah, I'd say it's really hard. So when you're mixing, that's pretty good. You know, you can mix something and you want to bring out, what colors you want to bring out in it, and you can look at it that way as what you're really trying to express on that track when you're mixing it. That's pretty easy. But when it comes down to mastering, that was a really hard one for me, and I feel like I'm still kind of perfecting that skill. I mean, I've worked with a lot of studio engineers, and they've given me a lot of advice on it. But yeah, I do feel like that is the thing that sends me the craziest. Like I'll be moving that compression knob around and just listening for the tiniest little difference, and I'm showing people, if you like one or do you like one better, and they're like, I cannot hear a difference. And that's what I think it's what I just have to stop. I think I just have to stop when it gets to splitting hairs. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Luke. Well, thanks very much for your time, mate. Defy the Renaissance Part 1 is out now. So what's the release schedule for Part 2, mate? When's the next or the first single coming out?
Oh, okay. For the next one, we haven't really planned a date yet.
Huh?
But it will be out soon. I'd say to be out in the next couple of months. We'll have the first single for that one out. Yeah.
Yeah, and where can people keep up to date with what's going on, mate, and follow what you're doing?
Yeah, so the Angel Affair on Facebook is where I post lots of stuff. And also my YouTube channel, The Angel Affair, and of course you can follow me on Spotify as well. Yeah, those three platforms are pretty much where I'm most active. Yeah.
Beautiful, mate. All right. Well, thanks again for your time, mate. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and we shall catch up with you as soon as you bring out something new, mate. Make sure you keep us in the loop. I'm intrigued to see where it goes from here.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kris. Thanks for your time.
No worries, brother.